Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Adelina, and I am going to welcome you guys to my new series called The Natural Flow. It's this little law of attraction workshop series based on this thing we call life. So, good morning, good morning, salud. In the beginning, just kidding. Because who knows when the beginning was, or where, or who, or how. I think that's something that we will know for sure when we go, when we transition. So, moving right along, whatever the case may be, there's a truth behind universal laws. And everything operates under law and order. Everything operates under law and order. And that's what this workshop is about. That's what this series is about. I welcome to join me. I know that the right people are going to tune in and resonate with what is being provided. So I've been very fortunate to have time to learn and study this material. I think life is our biggest teacher, and it helps us when we learn to be still to receive the answers to all the questions that we've been asking. And we all go through life asking questions. Um, why are things the way they are? How can things be better? How can I make relationships better? How can I live more prosperous? Why are things so sad around me? And why am I going through so much struggle? And so um, it's really it's really powerful and a really useful tool to know that we live in a universe, we live in a world, we live a life that operates under a very, very, very unbreakable law and order. And so, welcome. Thank you for being here. All right, we're going to start with universal laws through the universe. The galaxies, the planets, the moon, the stars, it all operates under law and order. Um, in our universe, from what we can fathom, I'm not an astronaut or work at NASA, but I do know that the sun comes up and it goes down, and the moon comes up and it goes down, and the all the planets have their orbit, and everything has been the way it is since the beginning of time. In plant life, you have science, and there's a natural flow to things. Within the plant, you have um, a seed that is planted in the ground, and it grows roots and goes through a process of time in growth and eventually sprouts up to what it is that you planted. So, in other words, if you plant a lemon seed, you're going to get a lemon tree. You're going to get lemons. But the law is that what you plant is what you reap. The order is the time it takes for what you plant to reap, and that there's a natural flow to it. Um, a lot of the things that a lot of Mother Nature, everything really in Mother Nature, um, we don't really have to force, and it just has this natural flow to it. And so, just the same, like we don't have to tell the seed to pop and to grow its roots. The seed doesn't have to be told how many steps or how long it's going to take. It just has this natural flow to it. Okay. And the same goes for animal life. Animals create according to what they are, which is law. You have a you have dog who mates with another dog and they create puppies, dogs. Cats to cats, animal and its liking to its liking. And again, a seed is planted, and the law is the seed. The law is the seed, and it has a natural flow to it. The natural flow is the same as with the plant life. The seed is planted in a home, underground, within a womb. And that seed does not have to be told how to grow, it just does. It's the natural flow of everything. And it has to go through its process, it has to go through its order. If you cut a seed off before its time, you will not produce its fruit. You will not produce its liking. And so, moving on to, the next is human life. And human life has a natural flow to it, just like everything else. We have a seed that is planted within a womb and it grows on its own. A mother does not have to tell the seed of the unborn child, okay, today I want you to start developing your little lungs. I want you to start developing the ability to um, breathe within my womb, to grow your limbs, your arms, your features. It has a natural flow, just like everything under creation does. Okay. Now, I always in my workshops, I always talk about the difference between, of course, everything under creation, which is universal plants and animals, and the difference between humans. And that difference is, of course, that we have free will. We have the ability to choose and think for ourselves. And so a lot of times we think that um, there's no law, or we don't fathom, we don't understand, we don't realize, we're not taught that even under free will, there's a natural flow and a law and order to living. And that is why I'm here to share with you guys this understanding that, and my hope is that we would create a beautiful world living the life that we desire, that we came here to live. And so, what is that universal law and that natural flow that governs our reality, our life? I mean, if you're like me and have been going through life learning lesson after lesson after lesson, and sometimes it just takes so long to learn these lessons because we repeat situations until we finally learn lessons, until we get it, and we're like, oh, okay, I kind of learned from this, I grew from this, it's time to move on from this. um, and you just want something more and better. If you're like me and that is where you're at in life, then stay tuned with me, because I'm going to share with you some really valuable information that I really believe is going to help you make the choices you need to make and learn to discipline yourself in ways to where you can create the best life you can create for yourself, the best life you can live. And, and so, moving on, I hope you guys are enjoying this. Um, you have universal life, planet life, or plant life, animal life, and human life. And then you have human being, right? That's us. That's us in this state of being. It's us with free will. It's us thinking for ourselves and making the choices that we make and creating this life that we're living. It's the being part of us. And so, like I mentioned, there is a natural flow to it, and there is a law and order to it. And this is how it goes. Life equals seed equals law, and flow equals time equals order, law and order. Okay? The universal law of attraction and how all the other laws of the universe abide to the law of attraction goes a little something like this. Okay? We're going to start with the law of compensation when we get a little further into the series. We're going to go on to the law of income, and we're going to discuss how the law of habit and hypnotic rhythm all become the the flow of life. Okay, let's go back. Where were we? The law of attraction is all energy based, guys. Everything in life that exists is energy, and we are energy beings. And so the law of attraction states that the energies we put out is what we will attract to ourselves. And I don't believe that too many of us realize that this is what's creating the life that we're living. And so it's really important to understand that we are energy beings, that everything around us is energy, and that the energies that we put out is what we're going to receive back. It's the law of attraction. It's the law that governs all other laws. It's the law that reigns and governs our entire reality. Okay? What you put out is what you get back. Okay? The law of compensation. Many of us are desiring more abundance in life, happier relationships, happier homes. We want happier families, and we just want abundance, peace, and ability. And so the law of compensation is where we're going to start when we start the next series, or when we follow through with this series, because it's understanding that the work and efforts you apply in all your endeavors will be compensated to you. Again, the law of attraction. But when you talk about the law of compensation with the law of attraction, we tie it into home, family, work, and school, because those are the major aspects of life. Our work is usually what provides the income, right? Our family is usually why we do what we do. Our home is where we rest and where we build. Okay, it's the foundation of life for us. And our school is our education. It's the time we're putting in to learning and growing. And so that's a really, really, I think, a very powerful place to start. All right. Especially, like I said, if you're like me and want to create a better life for yourself. Okay. The next law that we will go into is the law of the law of income, which is, you would think, somewhat similar to the law of compensation. But again, we were tying in the law of compensation, yes, to work, but related to family, home, and let's see, family, home, and what else? And school, education. So the law of income states that you will be paid in direct proportion to the value you deliver. Now, it's easy to feel like we're adding value when we're working so hard, because we've tied work with doing, like an 8 to 5, or a lot of times 12-hour shifts, and effort. It's like doing and doing and doing. And the more I do, the more I do, the more I do, the more effort I put in, the more I bust my ass to get this job done. the more I'll get paid. But that's not the way it works all the time. I know a lot of people who work their asses off to attain um, financial abundance, and they're not happy. Okay, um, and they're not achieving the goals and the desires that they are setting for themselves. And the reason is because our effort does not equal our value in that way of doing and doing and doing. Because, for one, we get tired, we get cranky, we get irritable, our brains do not work properly when we're just go, 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 go. We need to understand that our value is indirect connect it's directly connected to our ability to stay focused, to align, to rest, and really just align, which that's what this whole workshop series is about. And that is how you add value to the marketplace. um, and I get very personal with my videos, and I'm going to share a lot of personal information with you, because that's how I learned what I know and what I'm able to share with you guys. So I thought I was adding value. I thought I had like this enormous amount of valuable information here, and that I was able to provide, but I wasn't matching it with the efforts. I wasn't matching the value with my being, with my doing, with my flow. So it's a learning process, and that's what I'm here to share with you guys. The next one is, stay with me. The next one is the law of habit and hypnotic rhythm. Habits are formed by feeling, saying, and doing things over and over. Hypnotic rhythm is the process in which habits gain strength and momentum and flow. This is the order of life, guys. This law is just like, once you understand it and can apply it, and I want to say master it, but you never really master, because we never really finish doing anything, because we always keep evolving and going on and growing and learning and growing and learning and being and doing and growing and learning. So it's not that we finally master it, but we master it to the point where this is the natural way we live. It's our power, okay? And speaking of power, this is how we're going to proceed with this workshop and with this series. Okay, you want to live life prosperously, you want better relationships, you want happier moments, you want happier kids, you want to just live happier. I have the recipe for results to share with you. The natural flow of creation, even in our free will. And it goes like this. It starts with our programming, which is our power, or our destruction in some cases. And it's followed by the thought, leading to the feelings, to the words, to the actions, ultimately creating our results, the life that we live. Our programming is our power or our destruction. The thoughts are the seed, which equals the law. Feelings, words, and actions is the flow. It's the order, it's the time given. And the results is the life. Also the seed, also the law. Okay, this is the recipe that you have to master, that you have to learn, that you have to apply if you want to make sure you can, or not if you want to make sure, if you want to create the life that you're really desiring in life. It's as easy as simple and it's as easy and as simple as following a recipe. Have you ever made a cake before? It tells you exactly what to do. And if you follow the steps, you will get a cake. These are the steps. The programming is the understanding of everything. It's where it all comes from. It's where it all is, okay? It is literally our power or our destruction because for the most part, our programming before we learn to take ownership of it has been um, programmed by others. Did you know that you don't even really think for yourself? 96 maybe percent of our thinking is not even our own thoughts. We were taught to think the way we think, and that all lies in our programming. That starts with what we were born into, who were our parents, who were our siblings, what were the things we were watching, our community, our the radio, the teachers, the religious leaders, the politicians, all of that has programmed us. And a lot of times that's why it's our power or our destruction. Okay? But the law is the seed. The law is the seed that we plant. Okay? And our thoughts come from our programming. And they're followed by the order, the feeling, the speaking, the actions, the doing, the being, and all of that creates the result. It is the law. And so I want to thank you for tuning in to the introduction of what will become our series of this little thing called life and the natural flow of it, okay? I welcome you to keep joining me. You can find me on Facebook. I do some live videos there, but here is where I'm going to share with you in detail the knowing and understanding that I have with the law of attraction. And I really believe that when we apply this information, it sets us free from living a life of chaos, a life of pain and hurt. It opens us up to receiving the life that we want, of love and of joy and peace and harmony, of abundance, of riches, of wealth, of travel. And yes, right now, things have really taken a change of course, if you would. And we're all being forced to stay home. And I really believe it's the universe's way of shedding the dead skin so that it can live in a new skin. It's we're getting rid of the toxic to make room for healthiness, okay? For good health. And humans are learning to appreciate each other and appreciate what we have and learning to love genuinely. And so I think it's a perfect time for this. And I thank you for being with me. Again, my name is Adelina. And as always, I will wish you peace and love. Ciao.